Two, one.
Hey, how you doing, man? How's it, David? How you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, man. I'm just gonna introduce us to people who might not know who we are, what we're doing, and why we're even chatting online. So my name is Oguhle Macaba. I'm a writer with ENCA. We're chatting to David Tshabalala, graphic designer and illustrator based in Joburg. He's actually in recent years has worked on an exhibition, an Instagram exhibition called Run the World, where he was commemorating women that he admires through the month of August in 2014. He's also basically he's a graphic designer, illustrator, and works a lot with images that go online. But he also, as a graphic designer, you correct me, David. You basically work in the industry doing different things, right?
Yes, I do. So I do traditional graphic design work, print, digital, CI stuff, branding. Yeah. In addition to my illustration work.
Yeah. So just take us through briefly through who you are. Like, how do you start into graphic design? How did you grow up?
I'm from a small town. I'm from Harrismith. I'm in the Free State. So I studied in Bloom. That's where I did my tertiary education in design. I worked there for like 2 years. I got like 2 jobs. And then, 2012, I think, mid-2012, I came to Joburg. And I think that's where I really started growing.
And what is go into graphic design in the first place?
Well, it sounds corny, it sounds a bit cheesy, but I mean, growing up, I've always loved, I've always been a good artist. I've always loved drawing. And I mean, the reality, especially back in Bloom, like if you're gonna love art and you wanna get paid for it, graphic design, I think, is the easiest gateway to that. So for me, it was just because I love drawing, and graphic design is an actual profession. And
yeah, and in terms of at home, you're telling your parents, designer, I want to go. How was that received at first?
Funny enough, they were actually really, because my first love is fashion. Like I love fashion, but I mean there are these connotations and perceptions about fashion just being for girls or whatever. So my second option was graphic design. So when I explained it properly, what it is, my parents kind of understood. So they were quite chuffed. A bit skeptical at first because the pay isn't that nice when you start, but as you grow in experience, the better you are, the better you get paid, basically. So I think now they're kind of chilled.
Okay, I'm just from this. You might have take that down and just leave. Are you good now?
Yeah, I'm good. You keep on losing you.
Okay. Do you have a page open watching of us doing something to take that down so that it doesn't get distracted?
Cool. Closed.
Okay, it's closed now. So we can go back to it. So we're just gonna jump into this. Basically, I've got a couple of questions for you, and we can just take it from there, and we move on. We already know your brief background, who you are, how you started, how your family actually interacted or reacted to you wanting to do design. Basically, what I want to know from you is, like, from your perspective, from your point of view, as someone who lives online with a Twitter account and Instagram account on Facebook, and usually promotes their work and pushes their stuff online, what is the impact of social media platforms used as a springboard for graphic design, or even messages or means of communications?
I think, ironically, especially with the xenophobic attacks happening now, you can already see the power of just the hashtag. Yeah. So imagine that with an emotive image, which already falls into graphic design and photography. So I think it has a bigger impact when there's a visual element to it. So I think that's what graphic design does. It offers that visual impact to what's already being said.
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge thing. I mean, from that it can be a poster, billboard, whatever. So that's like the visual impact of what's happening in our society. I think that's what the design helps us with.
Yeah, talking about actually what's currently happening in South Africa, like with the xenophobic attacks, some people have lost, I think, lost trust in the hashtag, and because a lot of people are what some would refer to as couch activists. You're sitting on your couch, you just hashtagging, and you eventually actually speaking among about things that we could go out on the streets and actually talk about. Ooh, I just went out. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Did you get the rest of the question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, let's go into it.
Couch activists.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a globalized world. I mean, everything's so fast now. Like, we live in a digital space. Like, I don't know you, but with the way we interact, like digitally, we can meet up like in an hour and start like a march. That whole thing started online. So I can be a couch activist and just hashtag stop xenophobia, but you can see that and feel really passionate about it, and we can actually like meet up and do something about it. So I think that digital space is like a starting point to the physical work. Yeah. So maybe other people, they just remain on their couches and just tweet all day, but it can be like a vehicle to something, you know, more physical.
Yeah, and can you just mention some of the ways that you've used social media in your capacity to actually either raise awareness about things or even do or initiate certain campaigns or certain concepts?
The one example I have, I think it's my Around the World campaign, which basically started out as an insta-bition. So it's an exhibition on Instagram where like I profile each lady for 31 days. I draw her. I tell people who she is, why I think she's amazing. Now for 31 days, this was living on Instagram. Half the people on there I've never met, they're not really my friends, but they could relate. They could really relate, and like they followed like what I was saying. And there was this demand for an actual exhibition. So people wanted to meet these people that I'm like profiling. Cause so I think that's one case study of something that began on Instagram, connected with people, and we took it to a physical space. There was an exhibition, and voila.
Yeah, and how was the response to that? Like for you, what was the bottom line reason for you to even do that exhibition?
For me, I just wanted to do something. Like, I mean, as a professional in the industry, I have a 9-to-5 job, but after hours, in between stuff, the stuff I'm passionate about. Now, I'm not always illustrating at work. It's just the nature of things are. So, like, when I get home, I do all these things, and I wanted to sort of make it useful in a way. So, I just thought, why not do this? It's August, it's Women's Month. I can sort of, like, manage to do one illustration per day, just make it a campaign. Yeah, so it just started with me wanting to just do more with my time.
Yeah, and the reception, how did people receive it? I know that it eventually became a physical exhibition, but like online, what were some of the comments that you actually got pushing this this concept online?
Funny enough, online, the people really wanted a physical thing. Like, people loved the concept, and I mean, if you are a journalist and I profile a journalist that you like, you really want to meet her, and I tell you that she will be at the physical exhibition. I've already created a connection between you and her or him. So I think that was the thing. People really wanted to meet these people, and I sort of offered a platform and to say, this person's amazing, she will be at my exhibition. And it all started on digital. So I think that was just beautiful.
And do you have any other like insta-bitions or online social media campaigns that you're looking at running from your own personal capacity, or maybe in conjunction or collaboration with other people and other artists?
Well, for this year, obviously, I think Run the World, it's like an annual thing for me. And I think naturally it's just going to evolve by itself. Definitely more collab work, because I'll actually need their help. I mean, illustrating. So the beautiful thing is I have so many friends who are like in the same industry. I think I'm gonna ask them, like, they wanna help me illustrate people they like, women they find inspiring. So I think it's definitely going to be more collaborative and just open for other artists as well, because it's already my brainchild, my idea, but now like I can just share it with everyone, you know.
Okay, and for like people or kids or anyone who'd like to actually move into the graphic design space, like from your experience and the path and the road that you've actually walked, what advice would you give, or what would you say or to them to actually either push them to pursue their career, or things that they should be aware about moving into this space?
Hmm. I think research is very important. Like, always find out what other people are doing. Like, the level you want to reach, you should know people, and that's the other thing again with social media. You should follow those people, see what they're up to, see how they share their work, how they engage with potential clients and fans and followers. So just do research on the actual people in the industry, because I think that's the advantage we have now compared to maybe 10 years ago. Social media was still, you know, kind of rocky. Now you have access to just everyone. So my advice is just go online, follow the people you want to be like, basically.
Okay. And in South Africa, because you do speak about how 10 years ago we're a bit rocky in terms of of social media and using the internet. Like, do you think South Africa has caught up, or South Africa is getting there? And how are we using that space to conscientize each other about what's happening around our world and what's happening around like, be it creative spaces or education spaces or any spaces? Do you think we as designers, or not we, but you as designers and people that create images, to communicate messages to people, do you think you'll are working your way in there, or you're like okay already?
Um, I think, I mean, 10 years ago, Facebook was just starting out. It was dead. So imagine if it was in a phobic text already, but there was no platform. Like, you needed media to be on the ground, like, to cover that. Now we are the new content creators, and we share that. So I think now things are easier. Like, we can just get through people with our art and just our designs. So I think in a modern, in like today, it's just easier to get through to people with just good content. So yeah.
As companies and ideas evolve, graphic designers, what is their role and their place in social media and in actually, yeah, in social media and advertising and spaces of that sort?
Hmm. I think primarily in a commercial sense, like, I mean, design is, it's art that needs to sell or just promote an idea and make a profit out of it for a company. But I think from a personal point of view, as a designer, I think people sort of see your personality, like, you let people know who you are,
Yeah,
and what you need to do, I think, is sort of, people should know who you are and your ideas through the like the work you do, and I think
yeah,
automatically they'll like resonate with your ideals, like, and yeah, your opinions about everything.
yeah. And I'm actually just throwing this out there. Earlier on, um, I was just thinking, like, going through what's happening on social media and some websites, and looking at how these phobic attacks have actually escalated, and they like, it's like they're like a small virus that is contaminating different provinces and cities. And I was thinking, like, when what happened in France with the gunman that actually went into the news agency and shot up people, I just wanted to find out, like, are graphic designers in South Africa, or do you know of any people that are planning on creating communication pieces to raise awareness about what's happening in South Africa, what's happening around the xenophobic attacks? Is there anything, or are you guys, the community of graphic designers that you're around, speaking about this, or thinking of initiating anything, any projects like that?
Funny enough, all the people I know that I really admire, they've done it already. I mean, you just have to go online. Some of the best designers and illustrators today, their profile pictures are stuff they've created to communicate like the message. So whether it's stuff they created in the past or whether it was like specifically for this, but basically the profile pictures and everything, it's already the work they've done, like telling people about xenophobia, myself included. So I think in a digital space, yes, we've all like done something, but not in a physical like a march or whatever.
Okay, I mean, I think we've covered a lot of how graphic design works in social media platforms, and how also it can be used to push ideas, concepts, or even brands. And like, just to round off, just tell us a bit about the digital agency, the digital agency that you and a partner are starting, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. So I work at like Sole Providers. It's a content marketing agency. So we do content for brands. But I mean, the last few years we've been really like receiving a lot of like design work, like just traditional like design. So we just decided, let's start an arm of like Sole Providers called Sukechi. So Sukechi means sketch in Japanese. So my boss is now literally my business partner in this sort of arm of the company. So I'm being sort of like it's an incubation. So she's helping me out as I grow. But I mean, the whole point is for me to leave and just have the company as like my own. So it's gonna be my partner. I'm just gonna buy shares and it's just gonna be mine. So it's the whole thing about just growth and like development of rising artist, designer, and I really wish more people had the privilege and just opportunities, because that's how most companies work anyway. You know, they have the main division and then the smaller divisions pop up and little people hit them up. You know, so that's the situation I'm in right now. So it's a traditional design agency.
As a designer, like, how did you get to that point, like, where someone is willing to assist you to get your own agency or incubation type thing going? Like, how do you get there? Like, how did that happen for you as well?
I think hard work more than anything. I think hard work, skill, and again, even the way I got this job like years ago, it was someone saw my stuff on Facebook, they wanted my portfolio, things just escalated. So I think for me, it's just hard work, dedication. Talent is nice, but I mean, if you're not gonna work for it, if you're not gonna stay up and just put in the hard yards, you're not gonna get anywhere. So I think some people like recognize talent and skill, and they're willing to invest in that. So I think talent and skill, hard work.
All right, man. I'd like to thank you for giving us your time, David.
Thanks a lot.
And I'm looking forward to seeing more of your stuff. I'm looking forward to August to see what collaborations come out of that, and like to see more images and work coming from you. And thank you very much for giving us your time and sharing this space with us.
For sure. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, man. I keep peaceful and keep well, kind sir.
Same to you, man.
All right, peace.